Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take 1.
Action!
It doesn't matter that this is, it's weird. Like, does it matter that this is a J.J. Abrams movie? The voices that are against the new Star Wars trilogy, mostly everything Star Wars, The Last Jedi, Star Wars, The Legacy of Skywalker, or the Rise of Skywalker, whatever the heck that last one's called. I get it. Yeah, it was hard for me to get behind those other two movies. But to me, J.J. Abrams, as a creator, as a filmmaker, I followed his entire career. I think he's one of the best minds for story, one of the best minds for serialized drip, Lost, Alias, Felicity, the list goes on. To me, he is of the mind that is for story. And everything that happened with him post Star Wars, we just don't see a lot of JJ anymore. And to me, it's frightening. To me, it's scary. Maybe he's done, which is fine too. But when we sit down to watch Mission Impossible 3, aka Powders, we see one of the greatest, maybe the greatest in franchise reboots, redirections that no one knew was coming, that no one knew that they needed, that at one time this was just another Mission Impossible movie from the guy that did Alias, and it starred Philip Seymour Hoffman, which always raises eyebrows because we know who Philip Seymour Hoffman is. But what we get is this retcon now, like this post-conversation that JJ is cheap about this movie, that JJ is using his mystery box, and we don't find out what's in the rabbit's foot, because the rabbit foot is what everyone's chasing in this movie. I like why is it, why am I feel like a lot of times when I go through these movies and I see the commentary, I just feel like I'm the only one that maybe remembers things or realizes stuff, or maybe I'm just not the one willing to make that low-hanging fruit content, and I'm willing to play the long game here by, like everything here on AKAPAD The Film Buff podcast. We're focused on evergreen content, which is true perspectives, critical views on these movies and the world around them, the time that they were made in, all of it. J.J. Abrams gets criticized for this movie in a very weird way, and it's tough to dissect because it's always positioned as negative. We want to pretend that Alias wasn't a week-to-week hit, that the deaths in Alias were we can say like the first viral TV deaths. The deaths that we got in Walking Dead, for example, the most recent death of Joel in The Last of Us, right? Like everything from Game of Thrones, everything from Sopranos. Alias was killing characters in such a way that it freaked people out and people had to talk about it. JJ's the one. We go through JJ's writing credits, and in my view, he writes good stuff. I mean, I don't understand. Armageddon, regarding Henry. I think Armageddon is one of the best science fiction scripts of all time. Just like even like story and premise, and the way it's laid out. Like if we lay it out with index cards, and that's how we have to look at movie storylines sometimes. Movies aren't scripts. Scripts are blueprints. So we get this like movie that opens with Ethan Hunt moving on in his life. Tom Cruise's character has moved on, just like we have between Mission Impossible 2 and 3. This is the only Mission Impossible movie that doesn't have a subtitle or like a moniker. Mission Impossible 2 is MI2. Mission Impossible is Mission Impossible. But then we have Mission Impossible 3, and then it goes through Rogue Nation, it goes to Fallout, it goes to Ghost Protocol, it goes to Dead Reckoning. Mission Impossible 3 is the third one. And now Tom Cruise has molded this franchise into a director's showcase. He could not have chosen anyone more perfect to correct this. So what does JJ do? He brings in this practical world element. He brings in this administration pushback. He brings us a villain with Philip Seymour Hoffman. That this opening scene, the way how this movie opens, is one of the greatest openings of all time. It's a flash forward. We're in the future, and Tom Cruise is pleading with Philip Seymour Hoffman not to put a bullet in his girlfriend's head, the woman that he loves. What we establish here is Ethan Hunt falls in love with women quite fast. And the psychology of this is a fascinating element of Ethan Hunt's character. The psychology is so deep to where he leaves such a adverse life. His life is always at risk. He puts himself in levels of danger you cannot imagine. So he lives fast and he loves hard. It's amazing. And we see it throughout the entire franchise where he falls for the girl or makes himself fall for the girl and then puts himself in situations where he's got to save the world and save her. And in the later elements of the franchise, we see that he fails at that from time to time. And it's tragic. It's all set up here. The storyline of him and the marriage that's set up here, that's set up in the beginning, his cover, the way how he's recruited with the instant camera in this movie is, again, it goes back to the original TV series. The contrast of this one and MI2 and Mission Impossible is amazing. So what we do is we get J.J. Abrams embedding himself, essentially creating like an in-series trilogy, or at least a direct sequel with Ghost Protocol. And then there's like another in-series trilogy. It's it's truly fascinating. And we see JJ's footprints on Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I love watching MI2. Just watching that recently, because I love the end of MI2 so much. It's just so frenetic. Really, like, fantastic editing. And people just want to say it's all just like slow motion Matrix shots. Keep in mind, AKAPAD The Matrix ripped off John Woo. Okay, so if John Woo wants to make a Matrix looking movie in 2000 post Matrix, let him do it. He's earned the right to do that, and I think the action sequences in MI2 are as good as anything we got with the Matrix. I know the Matrix had new tech and like a new visual, but I think they're there like 1-to-1. But we get this almost like commentary too. Like J.J. Abrams makes a commentary against the type of spy movie that MI2 was. So you give all this credit to Tom Cruise, who is hyping these people up, recruiting these people, getting the movies to a point that they can easily be explained to directors and so on and so forth, right? Like he's positioning these movies for success, so that even when they change directors, when things flip-flop, I believe David Fincher was the original director for this, which I think the movie also, speaking of The Matrix, had Carrie-Anne Moss and Scarlett Johansson, I believe, in this movie. It's amazing that the movies can shift directors, keep a similar tone as a project, but kind of like move forward and just kind of say, hey, you know, like a lot of this is the people you want to hire, what you want to do. So, you know, the story's going to get dictated a certain way. And sorry there, AKAPAD. Accidentally maybe skipped a couple syllables there, recording wise. But no, and the bridge sequence in MI2, the revelation of Ethan Hunt being a human being is in this movie. The tone of this administration weight that we will see in the later movies, where we're having congressional hearings, we're having these almost like Star Chamber, if you, oh, that's a deep cut, I know that, Star Chamber level conversations with Alec Baldwin and Jeremy Renner. It's there. J.J. Abrams, and I take a shot every time I say his name in this in this episode. He in series reboots Mission Impossible to a new series, and the tone from this movie is what carries on into what we have currently with Dead Reckoning Part 2 or Dead Reckoning Final Reckoning. The series that moves forward over that is, like, I do believe it can pivot yet again into another amazing direction. But I think with the things that JJ was able to identify through Alias and perfected in MI3, dare we say Mission Impossible 3 might have been the Alias movie that we were once teased. Isn't that crazy? I don't know, AK Powders. I think people are wrong about this movie. I think the music for this movie is like, I don't even have anything up right now. Like, who did the music? Let's see. I know you guys hear me type. You don't hear me type much, because I'm usually good with having everything up for you guys. Here we go. I even to, like, I love the blue tone for this flick. I don't even know who's the cinematographer. Music. Michael Gaigano. Yeah, he is in a lot of movies we enjoy. If we just go into his filmography. Here we go. Discography. All right, so he doesn't have a quick list for us too, but he's also, I guess he's also a director. I don't know. This guy is and he's out of Delrain Township, Edgewater Park, New Jersey. Holy crap, I had no idea. But he look, Jurassic World, Star Trek. Yeah, like, if he did the music for the new for the JJ Star Trek movies, again, because of the music, JJ Star Trek is a must-watch Star Trek movie. But again, we have to give Abrams credit for giving us one of the best Star Trek movies, one of the best Star Wars movies, one of the best Mission Impossible movies, and Rogue One. That's what, yeah. So the theme of Rogue One, not enough credit. So yeah, this guy is one of my guys. And cinematography, Dane Mindell. So, I mean, we can probably anticipate there's going to be other JJ movies. Yeah, Domino, Spy Game. Oh my God, right there, Enemy of the State. So he's locked into this Cloak and Dagger look. Pacific Rim Uprising, Twister's fantastic, Red One fantastic. Well, Stuck on You, but I do like Stuck on You. So he's done some wildly visual movies. Star Wars Force Awakens, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, another movie with that blue tone. And he's doing Godzilla Kong Supernova, which is one of the most amazing subtitles for any movie I have ever seen. Isn't it wild too? We live in a world where there's 3 Kong vs. Zilla movies. So, AKA Patters. This again, I'm always between this one and Mission Impossible 2 as my go-to Mission Impossible movies. But again, like, leading into this arc, Brad Bird's Rogue Nation is or Ghost Protocol. Like, Ghost Protocol is and once we get into the next movie, we have to start debating, like, what are the big amazing set pieces, like what are all of these scenes that become iconic through these movies, and we want to say the Vatican scene, blowing up the car in Mission Impossible 3, the bridge scene Mission Impossible 3, the motorcycle chase scene at the end for MI2, the laboratory scene, MI2, the train, subway, helicopter finale in Mission Impossible up until this point, and then when Ethan suspends himself and steals the knock list with the white floor, white room, all dressed in black. Iconic. And it's amazing that again we're 3 movies in and we have like 6 iconic action scenes. The rescue of Philip Seymour Hoffman though is dude, like, and you just feel it, like you watch that scene and you feel it all slipping away from Ethan Hunt. It's there. I'd like watching MI3 and Quantum of Solace. I don't know why. I just like those 2 movies together. Call me crazy. I know a lot of you out there are not crazy for Quantum. All right, AK Padders, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out and sticking with me. We did have problems with the MI2 drop. The audio packets didn't get delivered through some of the automation. Those are fixed. So, guys, rock and roll. I love you so much.
Okay, that's a wrap.